Hay una pregunta que a muchos invitados le hago. Es la misma pregunta y no es una muletilla. Es el reflejo de mi reflexión, del análisis de una realidad. Iniciemos. La ausencia de Dios en los corazones de los seres humanos, en sus vidas, ha engendrado sentimientos negativos que son destructivos. Mire que esta pregunta tiene que ver con la relación creencia, religión, Estado, vida pública, política. Porque mire que esta ausencia de Dios ha engendrado sentimientos negativos que son destructivos para la sociedad, para la nación, para el Estado y para la humanidad. Es decir, que reforzamos el planteamiento que usted nos acaba de hacer de que hay una relación estrecha. Lo reforzamos con este postulado. Muy bien. Estos sentimientos negativos, en algunos casos, corrompen la cultura, como el sentimiento del odio, de la envidia, de la ambición, de los celos, de la ira, del egoísmo, del resentimiento, de la venganza, de las insatisfacciones, de la avaricia. Todos estos y muchos otros, reitero, tienen un impacto político. Tienen un impacto político en las sociedades. Estos sentimientos siempre han escalado en conflictos de diferentes clases y naturalezas. Conflictos y problemas personales, luego escalan a familiares, luego escalan a locales, regionales, nacionales y globales. Es decir, desde lo íntimo, desde lo interno, pasamos a un conflicto familiar y cotidiano hasta escalar a un conflicto institucional, social, cultural, medioambiental, político y económico. Nosotros, los creyentes, en este caso, como yo también, cristiano practicante, tenemos la convicción de que ese ser sobrenatural, de que ese creador, de que ese ser todopoderoso infunde en nosotros los seres humanos una transformación del ser, una felicidad permanente, no solo momentánea. Infunde además virtudes, valores, superarnos como personas, respetar al otro. La pregunta es, desde su especialidad, desde su experiencia, desde su profesión, desde su convicción como cristiana también, ¿cómo puede reforzar este postulado que acabo de expresar?
Well, everything you said, it just resonates so much. And I was thinking so many things as you were talking, but I think I would start with, especially now, I saw it years ago, but especially in our post-COVID world, we are in a crisis of faith. And that's not just Christian faith. That's, I would say, almost all of the faith traditions. And I think that crisis in faith and that loss of faith, if you will, is affecting us in so many ways that we don't even understand. For me personally, I see it as the lack of the interjection into our political system and into our way of being and into our cultures and all of the things that you mentioned and talked about. I think for us, for the most part, for humans, is very existential, and it doesn't allow us to really delve. The world right now doesn't allow us to really delve deeply inside. And we're not encouraged either to delve deeply inside to ask, why do I believe what I believe? Was I taught this in Sunday school in 3rd grade? Or, and so we have this part of it. We also have the human crisis of anger. And this is all over the world. It's not just here in the United States. It's not, it's literally everywhere. I just saw a video clip of some man in France stabbing another man in the neck because he bumped into him when they got off the train. And so we have this anger crisis and violence all over the world. And you said something interesting about how this, if you will, starts at home or happens at home and then it moves out into the world. I actually wrote a piece about domestic violence and the connection of domestic violence to conflict and war and violence on the other side of the world several years ago. Because the reality is, and my conclusion was, if we can't stop the violence in our own homes, if we can't stop hurting those we most love, and we are supposed to love unconditionally, and we are supposed to take care of, and we're supposed to protect, and instead we're causing harm to those children or women or men or whoever it is inside your home, how can we expect, Afghanistan to end, or Iraq, or Syria, or the Ukraine, or Gaza, or Israel? Because the reality is that it does start at home, everywhere around the world. And so we have these people who are violent and not well at home, and then they're out in the world and they're politicians and they're leaders. And I have come across, quite frankly, many, many religious leaders that have caused a lot of harm in the world and still are. And so for me, I turn to reminding myself of the people who are doing the good work and who do understand this. Sometimes the voices of those people are flushed out, as we're seeing here in the United States just in, a week and a half. And so I think for me, when I put all this together, I continue specifically, and I know that all those that I know who are in this field or who are in ministry in one form and another, either if they're rabbis or they're pastors or they're imams or, they're working in nonprofit or they're working at the government level, whatever they're doing as faith leaders, is that I focus on the people who are doing the good work. And as hard as that is, for me, that is, I have to remind myself continuously. I don't have an answer, honestly, as to what we can really do to understand this phenomenon of how, if it starts at home and it's taken out into the world. I think that has to start with our children and with raising them differently and with helping them understand restorative processes and healing processes and transformative processes and forgiveness practices in the home. And so when you're looking at that, then that's up to the adults. And if the adults haven't done the work, then the children won't understand and they'll grow up to be like them, right? So it is this vicious cycle. But the only thing that I can offer is that what I know of, again, I know thousands of people literally on the ground right now who are people of faith, Christians, Muslims, Jewish, Hindu, Buddhists, Zoroastrians, just Baha'is, who are on the ground right now, this very minute, all over the world, and they are living out their faith, and they are living out their politics, and they are living out their compassion and their empathy and their desire for peace in a multitude of ways. And I usually finish that sentence with, imagine how bad it would be if they weren't on the ground. you know? And so it's just a reminder that, yes, we have all of this and it's really hard, but then we also have these people who it would be so much worse, you know, people that we will never know their names or we will never know exactly what they're doing. But I'm thankful for them every single day to know that they're out there doing this work. So.